Good Saturday morning to you, and glad you could be here today. And hope you've had a good week, got a good weekend planned, including time in the Lord's house tomorrow morning, wherever that might be. If you don't have a church home, once again, let me invite you to Poplar Grove Baptist Church, located 3476 Poplar Tent Road, about a mile up from the concrete plant and the old Kmart. We are meeting in our Family Life building to ensure plenty of room for social distancing. You're welcome to wear a mask. It's not required. We have all types of cleaners and doing our very best to stay as clean as possible. So we'd love to have you at 10 a.m. But if you have a church home, hope you'll be there supporting your church. But again, would love to have you. The advertisement out of the way, go ahead and get a Bible and turn with me back to the 39th Psalm. 39th Psalm. Continuing, David's kind of given us a mini library here on suffering and trouble. He's dealt with trouble, and he's dealt with trouble that's our fault. Sometimes we suffer because of our own mistakes and our own issues. And what David, I think, is really focusing on here more than the external problems that come, but it's the struggle internally when we go through difficult times in life. And I think that's kind of what David is pictured for us here as we started, as we finished up yesterday. David said, I decided the best thing I could do was to be quiet. Just don't say anything. But then you'll notice at the end of verse 3 some words. He says, Then spake I with my tongue. David held it as long as he could. He did his very best not to say anything that would dishonor God or make the situation worse. And so David decides now that he's going to speak. But notice as we pick up in verse 4, the very first word, David chooses how, what, and most importantly, who he is going to talk to as he struggles through this time. He goes directly to God. He doesn't moan and groan in front of others, but he takes his issue, he takes his burden before God, which is probably one of the wisest things we can do. Someone told me one time about complaining to others, that half the people don't care and half the people think you deserve what you're getting. So most of us have learned that complaining to others doesn't do a lot. So David goes directly to the Lord, and I think he gives us continues to give us sort of a guide, a pattern here as we pray when we're in that when we're dealing with that internal battle, when we're dealing with that fight, that emotional, spiritual battle that wages within. David turns and begins to address the Lord. And his prayer is, Lord, make me to know my end and the measure of my days, what it is, that I may know how frail I am. David, he cries out, and it's kind of a lengthy way, basically, of saying, "Why is this happening to me? What is what is going on?" And when David says here, "Make me to know my end," what he's asking for, and the word "know," kind of a funny word, but he's not asking for knowledge. He's not wanting he's wanting understanding. He's trying to understand what God was doing, what was happening in his life, and he says, "I want to understand the end of my life." And so David, was trying to figure out what is the end. Where are we headed in what all is happening in my life? And so David goes to the only person who can really answer that question, and that is God, who knows our days. And so he asks God, what are you trying to teach me? What is the purpose here? What are we? What's the end game? Is the phrase I hear a lot today. And so David is saying, he says that I may know how frail I am. In other words, what he's saying is, what is the purpose, so I can, so I can live into that purpose with what time I have left. And so David asked, I think, a very legitimate question. I know some will teach you not to question God, and there's a difference in my world anyway, and I think biblically speaking, we see it here. There's a difference in questioning God and asking God a question. And David is asking God a question. Lord, I need some information. I need to know what you're trying to accomplish, because I want to do it. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, I'm good with it. Just show it to me so I can go in the same direction that you are. And again, that's a great piece of wisdom for us, I think, when we are struggling along and having internal battles. Lord, what are you trying to get me to understand here? What are you trying to teach me? Because if you're, and if you're trying to teach me, and I'm going to use just a simple analogy here, but Lord, if you're trying to teach me to go over here, then I don't want to be wasting a lot of energy trying to get over there. Lord, I want to go where you want me. And so just tell me what it is you're wanting. What it is you're wanting different, what it is you're wanting changed. Lord, just show me that so that I will know which direction to go in. Behold, thou hast made my days as a handbreadth, and mine age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. And so David realizes that his life is shallow, his life is short. When David asks for understanding here. He gets it. David gives him, God gives him some insight. Much like this passage is very reminiscent of Ecclesiastes. Lord, made my days as a handbreadth, and mine age is nothing before you. And every man at his best is altogether vanity. We spend our life working and striving and running and doing, trying to accomplish things and store up money and retirement and wealth. And yet David here in two different verses, two different ways, he said, he basically says, I'm frail, my days are few. Here my days are just a hand's breadth, just a little bit. My age is nothing to you. And at my best day, it is vanity. And the word vanity here, just like in Ecclesiastes, is another way of putting it is mist. It's just a mist. It's here, and then it's gone. And so David is saying, I'm just, this life is just fleeting and temporary. And so God, in this short little section here, he reminds David, that all the things of this world that we pursue we are they're temporary. We're not taking them with them. Again, I said the other day, and I didn't say it the first time, but you've never seen a hearse pulling a U-Haul, and so God reminds David here that life is fragile, that it's short. And so we should seek the end that God has in place for us. And I want to kind of extrapolate here three real quick ideas, lessons from this text. And I've talked about this before. I've already talked about it a little bit today, and that is that we should talk to God. And let him know our feelings. Let him know what's going on. Again, I believe there's a huge difference in questioning God and asking God a question. David is not doubting God's authority, challenging his position to put him through, allow him to suffer. He doesn't do any of that. All he asks is, Lord, what am I supposed to learn? And I don't. In fact, I think that God would honor that and appreciate that. Wouldn't you, as a parent? Your child is not. You're disciplining your child, and your child. He's not saying you don't have the right to discipline me. You don't have the right to do that. But I think it is fair, and I think most of us would appreciate it, that if our child said, "Okay, now, Daddy, what is it you want me to learn from this? How should I be a better person going forward?" The other thing here is, and we're seeing it kind of unfold really through three chapters now, that there is a purpose in that pain, that God takes those situations and works them for our good, he says in the New Testament, that he's trying. I think usually God is either trying to get something out of our life or trying to get something into our life through pain and through suffering. And we see David is longing for that understanding. And then maybe perhaps the most important thing in these couple of verses is this little section reminding us that days are short, that our life is really very brief, and that we should strive, as I think David is doing here. Lord, help me to understand what it is that you've put me here, why I have this opportunity, so that I can live into your plan, so that I can live into what you want in my life, and not try to do things my way, which just lead to further pain and suffering. And so as we wrap up this morning, I hope you'll take these two verses and let those two, let them kind of percolate around in your mind a little bit. What is God trying to tell you in your current situation? What information do you need from God? Again, I don't think there's a thing wrong with asking God a question. What information do you need? What questions do you need to ask God, and to be reminded we better get busy doing it. Days are few. Life is short. All right. I hope that helps you walk a little closer to the Lord today. Understand the things that happen to you, and learn the lessons that God has planned for us and in store for us, that we can be the people that He wants us to be, and accomplish His purpose. All right. Have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday morning.